Hey guys, this is Module 30. So you are working on the review today. And this first part, you're writing each number under the category it matches. So you're using these and filling in these spots. Now I'll go ahead and tell you, this one has 2 answers, this one has 2 answers, this one has 3 answers. Remember, unit fraction, when you hear the word unit, you should think of the word number 1, remember. And whole numbers should have 2 answers. Then you're drawing a line to divide the shape into 8s. There's more than one way to do that. Then it says shade 1 and write the fraction that names that shaded part. Then you're going to look at the triangle. Read that carefully. Now ask what strategy or tool. Not quite worried about the strategy or tool. I'm more interested that you get the right answer here. Then on the back side, write the fraction that names the shaded part. Bubble that in. Tell what the fraction is on the number line. Show which of these number lines shows 3/3. That should send up a red flag. You got the same number as the numerator and denominator. And then you're going to have to use one of those rulers again, like you did on the last lesson, to measure to the nearest ½ inch. So you will have to, when you get to this point, walk over and get your ruler. Just make sure you put it back in the drawer whenever you're finished. Okay? All right. We're going to pause the video. You're going to pause the video and work through those problems. And I'm going to work through them while you're working through them. And I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. Work carefully. Okay, let's see how you did. Remember, if you haven't answered all those questions, pause that video again. You got to do the work first, and we'll look through it. Now, it's okay if you're having a little bit of trouble as you're working through. That's why I made this video, so we can go over the answers together. All right, so you have fractions that are greater than 1. These are your improper fractions. That means they don't look right, because the number on the top is much bigger than the number on the bottom. So 11/8 and 5/4 are what you should have there, because both of those are improper fractions. They're greater than 1. Remember, if you had 5/4, that means you would have something that had 4 pieces and you're shading in 5. Well, if you shade in 4, you got to draw another one so you can shade in that 5th one. Okay, so that would be 5 shaded out of 4 parts in each one. That would also equal 1 1/4. That's all stuff we've talked about. But this is a fraction greater than 1. It's an improper fraction. This is a mixed number. So mixed numbers is the next thing on the list. That would be the ones that are mixed up. It has a whole number and a fraction. So there's 1, 1/3, and 3/2 go there. Unit fraction, don't forget, that has a 1 in the numerator. You're only talking about one part of what's divided up into fractional parts. So 1/8 is a unit fraction. This was one that had 3. 1/4 is a unit fraction, and 1/2. That's what should go there. And whole numbers are just regular old numbers that we've been using for years and years and years. And that would be the 4 and the 2, which go there. Okay? Then, on number 2, I'm going to give you a second or two because some of you might be fixing those, because this part usually gives folks a little bit of trouble because they're not used to that. Then you're drawing lines to divide the shape into 8s. So, I did an array of 2 rows of 4. Have 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. And it said to shade in one of them. And it didn't matter which one you shaded in. It just said pick one. So I just picked the first one at the top. And then that means we have 1/8 of this shaded. We have 1 out of 8 parts that are shaded. Then, this one was a little bit tricky. This is kind of like that question about the girl that was running around the track. I think it was like 12 times or something, and she ran 3 miles, we figured out. Well, this Each triangle represents a half. See, here's a half, there's another half. How many triangles are needed to make 7 halves? Well, what's your numerator say? 7. Boom, there it is. We need 7 of them to make 7 halves. That's what that numerator is telling us. Not real worried about tell the strategy, because you're not going to have to do that on statewide testing or map testing. They're not going to ask you to type out some big story about which strategy you used, okay? And in this case, strategy is just talking about tools for your toolbox. What tool in your math toolbox did you use to solve this problem? All right, turn the page when you're ready. On the back side, this one was kind of easy. Which fraction names the shaded part? Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 that are shaded, so it's 5/6. This one, 0 to 1, so you have 4 sections, so you know the denominator is going to have to be 1. I'm sorry, let me say that again. You have 4 sections, so you know the denominator is going to have to be 4. And you're hopping one of those 4 sections, so 1/4 is your answer. Okay? 4 sections, denominator. You're hopping over to one section, 1 is your numerator. All right, which number line shows 3/3? This one right here, you've gone all 3 sections to get there, right there where that dot is. So 3/3 equals 1 whole. Then number 7, if you measured that correctly, then you should have 4.5 inches. Okay? All right, guys, you have a test on this tomorrow. Make sure that you look over this carefully so you're ready for that test. Okay? All right. See you next time.